welcome back everyone to another episode of the Cover 2 podcast. As always, I'm your host Lawson Turner, and let's dive on in. So, a report came out yesterday, about Mike McCarthy being fed up with Jerry Jones. Now, when Mike McCarthy took the job in 2020, they were 6-10, missed the playoffs, but since then he's been on a regular season base, just the last 3 years. He's been fantastic. 12-5, 12-5, 12-5. And when I see the report he's fed up with Jerry, it's a Jerry is a very hands-on owner. There's a lot of different kinds of owners. There are owners in which they make their hires and they stay out of the way. Then there are owners like Jerry Jones where he wants to be very hands-on. Now, there's a fine line between being too handsy and just dabbling in here and there. And Jerry is all 10 toes down on his Dallas Cowboys. We know that. Now, when I see a report that Mike McCarthy is frustrated, I'd be frustrated. Like, let me work and you do your owner stuff. I don't need the excess noise coming into the Dallas Cowboys locker room. I don't need to, because now that this report's out now, it's a who told who to get it leaked. The biggest thing for me is news. The only reason why anything gets out, someone wants it out, and obviously it's Jerry's not going to put this out. There's zero reason for Jerry Jones to put this out. Mike McCarthy probably wants a new deal. I think that he's on a little bit of a hot seat due to his lack of postseason success. They go 12-5 after his first year. They lose against the Niners at home in the wild card round due to the QB draw play. That, hindsight being what it is, it's like, okay, that was a weird play. Now, in your theory, you get it. You spike the ball with a second left. You get one to throw at the end zone. Doesn't matter. They lose that game. Next year, they go 12-5. They're the fifth seed due to the Eagles winning the division, and they roll Tampa in the first round, and Dak plays awesome. And then they lose to, surprise, surprise, the Niners again. And once again, a one-score game. And then this past year, 12-5 again, and then get blew out at home by the Packers. Like, it's, for whatever reason, it seems as if there's a dark cloud over the Dallas Cowboys organization. It seems as if no matter how talented they are. Now, I understand that they were without Trayvon Diggs last year due to his ACL tear, and it sucks because we saw him just the year before lead the league in picks. And it amazes me as to how the Cowboys just always find themselves in like these shitty spots. They bring in Mike Zimmer, 1-year deal. I I assume Mike McCarthy wants a new deal. Dak wants a deal. CD wants a deal. Micah wants a deal. Like, you have your key pieces, your new defensive coordinator, who I like Mike Zimmer. I thought he did a fantastic job in Minnesota, and that defense now, they didn't have your household names, but Harrison Smith was still good. Everson Griffin was still good, and they had Daniel Hunter, who, from a pass rush perspective, still, well, not still, but back then, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. Yeah, to me, when I saw this report, I was like, well, of course he is. Who wouldn't want a new deal to continue to be the Dallas Cowboys head coach? Because that's a big title. They're one of the biggest sports brands in the entire world, not counting just in the U.S. If you just want to talk, NFL teams, it's the Steelers, the Packers, the Patriots, the Cowboys. They're in that mix as to some of the biggest NFL brands. So the just the title, Dallas Cowboy, sounds big, and the fact that it starts and ends with your head coach. It should. But how hands-on Jerry Jones is, I understand why he'd be frustrated. I understand 100%. There's no reason for Mike McCarthy to feel not any other way, but I think to me the pressure is kind of getting there because he's you can go 12-5 every year, but what does it mean if you're not having any postseason success? Like if great example when it was the 2020 year and the Steelers started out 11-0 and they finished 12-4 and they get bounced in the first round. Doesn't matter. When you see teams have championship level aspirations, that's the biggest thing for me. When you have a team and in name they're in the Super Bowl bubble, in name and in talent, like I mentioned earlier, they have your star players in key spots: quarterback, number one receiver, edge rusher, fantastic DB in Trevon Diggs, and this team should it's every year's championship or bust because that's your expectations. You're one of the most historic all-time great franchises in totality. Now, haven't been to the NFC Championship game in what was it 26, 27 years, and it's a long time since they've had any relevancy in the postseason. Like, especially after what happened in the debacle that happened last year against the Packers, it's like, okay, well, they're gonna win, 11, 12, maybe even 13 games this year. Is anyone gonna take them seriously in the NFC? Eventually, they're gonna run into San Fran. The the uh, the Rams aren't, they're not a team to be, just to roll past. Even though they lost Aaron Donald, they still have Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua is gonna, be a lot better. Then you have the Lions, who they ended the season just just like the Cowboys, in which they have a sour taste in their mouth. They're up 17 zip on San Fran, and they blow the game. And there's no. It amazes me as to when these things get out because I assume that Mike would want Dak back. Maybe not at 60 million like Dak wants or what's being reported that he wants, but there's a lot of for as good of a in theory the job is and the gravitas that comes with being the Dallas Cowboys head coach, you have a lot of question marks in your future. Like, what's your long-term plan? Are they going to eventually pay Dak and he's going to be, just fine and they're going to continue to have good regular season success? In how what's the first domino effect in how it falls? Is it Dak getting paid? Is it CD getting paid? Micah gonna get paid? Like when Justin Jefferson got paid, it's like okay, if Justin Jefferson's gonna get 35 a mil per year, uh, CD is probably gonna get 32, 33, and there's no reason for him not to go out and say I want the exact same, if not a little bit more than Justin Jefferson do too. Dallas Cowboys. Now, numbers wise, they're damn near the same. Him and Justin Jefferson, they had now JJ's missed time last year, but in a totality standpoint, like they're both outstanding receivers. You can make an argument. I'm not one to make it that they're number one, number two coming into this year. You know. Then when it comes to your non-quarterbacks getting paid, who was the highest paid non-quarterback before Justin Jefferson just got paid? Oh, it was Nick Bosa. Where does Micah Parsons play? He's an edge rusher. For the most part. Now, we understand Micah is a very versatile defender, but most of the time he has his hand in the dirt and he's rushing the edge. Well, not always, his hand in the dirt, but he's a fantastic defensive player, edge setter, tackle machine, can rush the passer. Like there's almost nothing he can't do from his position. And you don't think he's gonna want more than Nick Bosa? Which damn near could end up being more than Justin Jefferson. Like, that's the thing that when in a salary cap league you have to think about. Like, okay, we have a pie. If I cut this much to you, that's going to leave less for the rest. That's it. That is as flat as it gets. If I cut this big piece for Dak, CD and Mike are going to miss out. That could lead to them getting a little upset and feeling like it's a little personal when we know what the quarterback is. The quarterback is the most important position, and it stops and ends at your quarterback. And for Mike McCarthy, it's a question mark. I think him and Jerry need to, get together and have a maybe a glass of wine and really talk about it. There's no reason that you should be like there's tension and you can feel it. You can feel that the pressure is slowly starting to cook and creep into the Dallas Cowboys locker room. And I don't think the players would like to see this. That oh damn, our head coach, and he's kind of getting a little frustrated. So that raises more tension and anxiety and stuff into your locker room, and nobody wants that at all. Especially for a team that is in every year contending for Super Bowl or bust. That's it. Well, that's all I have for you guys in this episode of the Cover 2 podcast. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at the Cover 2 Pod 26. Link will also be in the description to make it a little bit easier. As always, I'm Lawson Turner. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.